Okay, in this section of the course, we are going to be working with RESTful APIs, and the first thing that we want to be doing is implementing this beer service API. So you see that I have the documentation up here. And as we build this, the first thing that we need to do is define the model. So right here, I've got get beer by ID. You can see the properties there. So what I want to do is I'm going to create a POJO for this. So let me come over to IntelliJ. Come into the source main Java folder, package I should say. And in this, I'm going to create a new package. We'll call this model. So it's pretty common to use model for the objects that you're going to be turning back. So I'm going to come here, create a new Java class. And I'm just going to call that beer. Add that in. Now the properties that we had were beer name, so that's going to be private. So I'm going to pause the coding here and complete the coding of the POJO. I don't think you need to see me code up all the properties in enum. So I'm going to pause the video, code that up, and then jump ahead just a touch. Okay, so you can see here I've added in the remaining properties of the beer object. So I have version, beer name, I had to add in the beer style, UPC, quantity, I had price, and create date. So right now we have a basic POJO. So there's a plain old Java object, but they're all private properties. So what I want to do now is I want to utilize Project Lombok, and if we use data on this, so that is a Lombok annotation. And remember this here, if I download the sources, you can see here that this adds in getter, setter, required args, toString equals hash code, and even value. So, or no, I'm sorry, it does not do value. So, but it does do getter, setter, required args, toString, and equals in hash code. So that gives us those properties on this. So you can see now I've just defined the properties of the class. Nothing else had to be added to it. And if I come over here to Maven, and I'm going to come up here to lifecycle and say compile should do it. Now if I come to target, we can see classes come into the package for the model. And here's the beer class. So IntelliJ has a decompiler, so it automatically, if you click on a class file, IntelliJ will decompile it. So you can see here, these are the properties that I defined in the POJO. And these getters and setters, these were generated by Project Lombok. So you can see here that it went through. There's the equals method. See that we do quite a bit on equals, can equal the toString as well. So you see here the toString gives you quite a bit of information to it. So that's a real nice representation for the toString. And again, our class now has 254 lines of code, and we wrote about 10 lines of code or so. So this was all stuff generated by Project Lombok. So it does save you a lot of time when you use that data annotation that gives you all the getters, setters, equals hash code, and a toString method, and as well as a noargs constructor get generated for you. So you can see here I have a class with a handful of properties, and it saved a lot of time in that. So we'll be continuing to use Project Lombok in the course. This object here, this is what we're setting up as a return value from our RESTful API. So we will be working with beer objects, so to speak, passing them through our RESTful API. And now we've just established a model, and we'll start building the rest of the code out to support a RESTful API around a beer object.